The Houthis took control of the United Nations Human Rights Office in Sana'a. The Organization of the Nations has also announced that the properties and documents in the main office have been looted. In June, the Yemeni group arrested 60 people working in UN offices and international humanitarian institutions. Volker Turk, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, said that the group looted vehicles, various properties and documents from the office. The Houthis must leave office immediately. They should also return all the property and documents they took, said the High Commissioner. The Associated Press said its efforts to include the Houthis' response in its report were unsuccessful. In June 2024, the UN Human Rights Office closed its headquarters in Sana'a, as well as offices controlled by the Houthis. However, the internationally recognized government of Yemen continues to operate in the area it controls. It will be remembered that the Houthis arrested and imprisoned 60 people working in UN offices and international humanitarian institutions in June. It is said that 6 of them are employees of the United Nations Human Rights Office. It should not be forgotten that the day after the Yemeni group arrested 60 United Nations institutions and humanitarian organizations, they arrested the members of the American-Israeli spy network. In the video released by the group, 10 Yemenis can be heard saying that they were recruited by the American embassy in the country and were doing intelligence work. The United Nations, however, dismissed the video, saying that the workers were forced to say what they wanted by the Houthis. It is known that the Houthis, who control most parts of Yemen including Sana'a, have entered into a civil war with the Yemeni government, which is internationally recognized and supported by the Saudi-led coalition, since 2014. It is remembered that the group, which is said to be supported by Iran, has shown its support to Hamas since Israel started the war in Gaza, and is attacking countries and international institutions that are supporting Tel Aviv. Iran says it will refrain from attacking Israel if Gaza war ceases. It is expected that a ceasefire between Qatar and Egypt and Hamas and Israel will be held tomorrow. Although Iran has not announced how long it will tolerate, it has announced that it will not attack Israel if a ceasefire agreement is reached. A senior official in the country's security establishment told Reuters that the only compensation for Tel Aviv's trespassing into Iran's sovereign territory is a ceasefire. Following the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh, the head of Hamas's political bureau, Tehran has been threatening for weeks a direct attack on Israel. The security official announced that Iran, along with its regional partners, has made adequate preparations to take appropriate measures for the crime. A ceasefire agreement between Hamas and Israel is expected to be negotiated in Qatar or Egypt tomorrow. However, Iran has not publicly announced how long it will tolerate the negotiations before retaliating. White House spokesman John Kirby said in a press conference yesterday that security information indicates that Iran may carry out the attack it has threatened this week. He added that if the retaliation is done before the ceasefire agreement is held or the outcome is known, it will cast a shadow on the negotiation process, the spokesman said. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said that we are closely monitoring the situation in Tehran and Beirut. He said that we have made advanced preparations on the situation and target of attack. In recent weeks, the United States has been making various diplomatic efforts to ease the tension in the region, and it has given responsibility to 3 countries in the region, including Turkey, to persuade Tehran to refrain from retaliating against the tension. According to Reuters, if Iran can stop the war in Gaza with this threat of retaliation, it will be a major victory. However, if this fails, she does not want to provoke a regional conflict, but she will not hesitate to attack Tel Aviv. It is also said that Iran wants to be involved indirectly in the negotiation process through side meetings and diplomatic efforts. Yesterday, America, Britain, France and Italy called on her to refrain from attacking, but Tehran refused to accept the call. Ukraine bombed Russia's Kursk region with missiles and drones. Russia has shot down 117 Ukrainian drones and announced that it is striking Ukrainian military areas with jets. U.S. President Joe Biden said that the entry of the Ukrainian army into Russia has put Putin in a dilemma. Although the Russian Ministry of Defense declared that the situation in Kursk had stabilized, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyi said that his troops continued to penetrate into Russian territory. Zelensky also stated that he ordered the generals leading the country's army to come up with a new plan for the continuation of the campaign. In a statement issued this morning, Russia announced that it had shot down 117 Ukrainian drones in the Kursk, Voronezh and Belgorod regions. Reuters reported that the country's Su-34 bombers also struck areas controlled by Ukrainian troops. Neither Russia's defense ministry nor Ukraine have disclosed the extent of damage caused by the drone and missile strikes. U.S. President Joe Biden said that they are continuously exchanging information with Ukraine regarding the invasion of Russia. The White House statement said that the Ukrainian army's penetration into Russia has put Russian President Vladimir Putin in a serious dilemma. Washington says it has no hand in Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but Moscow claims that Kiev's Western allies already knew about the invasion. More than 200,000 Russians have been displaced by Russia's invasion of Ukraine since Tuesday last week. It has been reported that there has been serious damage to innocent lives and property in the fighting that has been going on for days. Despite President Putin ordering his country's military to quickly sweep out the invading force, the Ukrainian army has advanced and not yet retreated. It can be remembered that Kiev said yesterday that she has taken control of 100,000 hectares of Russian territory. It is said that Ukraine, which claims to have taken the field of the two-year war to Russia, has launched a campaign to force Russia to come to negotiations. But the Kremlin will not negotiate with an invading force. He responded that we will respond quickly to the Western-sanctioned invasion of Ukraine. China has announced that it has developed a charger that can charge an electric car in 10 minutes. Currently, the preferred ones are those made by the American Tesla and the Chinese Buwaji companies. The demand and production of electric vehicles is increasing worldwide. However, finding a charger that can handle these electric vehicles has become a challenge. Another difficulty is the long time it takes to charge electric vehicles, which is constantly improving. Chinese technology company Zeekr claims to have found a solution to fast-charging electric vehicles. The company has announced that it has developed a technology that can charge an electric vehicle battery to 80% in 10 minutes. The American Tesla company has launched a charger that can charge a vehicle in 15 minutes. The world's technology giants are experimenting with shortening the charging time of electric vehicle batteries, while the Chinese companies that dominate the world market are unveiling new innovations. Chinese companies are a major competitor in producing electric vehicles and providing related innovations to the world market, and many countries including the United States and the European Union are taking various measures to control China's progress. Last May, the British technology company Neobolt announced that it had found a solution to fast-charging electric vehicles. The company has confirmed that it can charge an electric vehicle's battery within 4 minutes of guests' presence, the BBC reported. This experimental technology is expected to be on the market by 2025. The person who flew to 2 cities without buying a plane ticket. The person traveled from Munich, Germany to Stockholm, Sweden, free of charge. Finally, the police are investigating how this talkative person managed to travel. The unnamed man, a Norwegian national, traveled from the German capital Munich to Hamburg and Stockholm without a ticket. It was surprising that the man traveled to 2 cities without buying a plane ticket without being caught by the security forces. The airports where the man traveled had unmanned technologies in place to prevent people from traveling without a ticket, and this man managed to fly past all of them. In late investigations, it was confirmed that when the person bought a valid travel ticket and checked in, he immediately joined the planes without giving enough time to the check-in machine. Bild reports that this person was cheated because when he entered the plane to travel for free, when the flight attendants saw that all the seats were taken, they pointed Dayun to the security forces. Swedish police arrested the suspect, but released him on the grounds that he did not cause any injuries or pose a threat. German police have announced that they are investigating why security forces did not ask the man to at least show identification when he flew to 2 cities. The bridegroom who exposed his wife's behavior on the wedding day has become a talking point. The photo of the groom, his first wife and his wife getting engaged was shown to friends and relatives on their wedding day. The act of the groom, which received wide attention on social networking sites, was named a sweet revenge of the year. Deeply heartbroken by his new wife's tactics, the groom bids farewell as he waits for the right moment to take appropriate action. A week before the wedding ceremony, the husband found out that his fiancée was having an affair with his first wife and refused to discuss the matter with his friend or fiancée. As the wedding is over and the husband and wife are preparing to take their vows, he accepts the microphone saying that he has something to say before taking his vows. He then distributes the envelopes to all the wedding attendees and opens them. Inside the sealed envelope was a photo of the woman standing next to him and his first wife kissing. After the groom said, "The image you see in the photo shows my dear fiancé and best friend kissing from behind. I don't think anyone would judge me for not marrying such a woman." He left the wedding hall with his family, where the bride stood in shock. The groom's family, who found out about his wife's teasing, agreed with him when he told them how he intended to take revenge and attended the wedding ceremony pretending that nothing had happened. As a result, the bride and her family were forced to cover the entire cost of the wedding program, Daily Mail read. Georgiana, who coordinated the wedding, took the issue to the media, and a video in which she spoke about the situation on a podcast received more than 1 million views on TikTok. Following the incident, The users of the social networking site described the groom as a hero and expressed their opinion that it is the right punishment to teach the wrongdoers. As the commentators continue, it is easy to imagine the pain of a bridegroom rejected by two loved ones. He said that it is surprising to plan this kind of revenge in this situation. They described the situation as the sweet revenge of the year. Others objected to the act, saying that if he loves a woman with all his heart, he should humiliate her in front of her family and friends. It was announced that the second round of negotiations between Ethiopia and Somalia ended without an agreement. Turkey and the foreign ministers of the two countries indicated that there have been improvements. The Turkish foreign minister stated that the third round of negotiations will be held on September 17. Reuters reports that the second round of negotiations between Ethiopia and Somalia, which was being conducted by Turkey as a negotiator, ended without an agreement. According to reports, Turkey and the foreign ministers of the two countries indicated that there have been improvements. The negotiations held in Ankara, Turkey, aimed to repair the damaged relations between the two countries after it was announced on January 1 that Ethiopia had agreed to give Somaliland a 20-kilometer-long coastline for commercial and naval bases and in return to recognize Somaliland as a nation. Somalia, which sees Somaliland as a part of its own territory, strongly protested that the agreement signed by Ethiopia with Somaliland violates its sovereignty and international law. Somalia, which says the agreement is illegal, responded by expelling the Ethiopian ambassador. Somalia is threatening to expel the thousands of Ethiopian soldiers stationed in the country who have been helping it fight al-Shabaab. The negotiations between the foreign ministers of Ethiopia and Somalia in Turkey were indirect. Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan met both of them separately and the negotiations were held. In his statement, Fidan said that many issues were raised in the second round of negotiations better than the first round, and now there is a closer to major principles. This is a significant improvement, Fidan said, adding that the third round of negotiations, which will begin on September 17, aims to reach a sustainable and concrete agreement between the two countries. Somalia's Foreign Minister Ahmed Molam Fiki Ahmed said there have been improvements and the Mogadishu government wants an agreement based on international law and the United Nations Water Act. As we prepare for the third round, we hope that the current progress will lead us to a final solution, Ahmed said. Ethiopian Foreign Minister Tay Sixlay said that his country wants to resolve our differences and have a continuous dialogue to return to normal relations. Turkey has close relations with Somalia and Ethiopia. Turkey trains Somalia's military and provides development support, and instead has a foothold in the Gulf's international trade route. Turkey began its negotiation efforts after Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed was asked to intervene during his visit to Ankara last May, Reuters reported, citing sources. Brigadier General Gabisi, along with 60 fast-arriving commandos during a battle in Gojum Dagadamat, was destroyed by flames in Gojum Fano. In Gondar province, in an area known as Gwang with a special name, the Amhara Fano Gondar took command of a bold attack, and the regime's oral troops were killed. The Amharas living in Salulta complained to Asham TV that if they do not pay you 400,000 bear, we will demolish your house. They defiled the church. Priests and parishioners were persecuted and the temple became a fortress. The Debra Bisrat St. Gabriel Church in Rematown, Mida Weramo District, North Shoa Zone was raided by the fascist army and is being desecrated. Nay 06, 2016 Year of Mercy, the defense that invaded the Jibbi and the temple by arresting the church administrator Reverend Kemser Zaude and expelling the priests, deacons and parishioners. Sources informed us that they are still in control of the Jibbi, smoking khat, smoking cigarettes, cooking food and digging a fort. He said that the army has taken control of the shrines and used them as places for eating, khat gathering and smoking, apart from making them a place for obscene acts. The response given by the leaders of the invading army to the community's petition said, since the church is located on a mountain, we need it for a fortress, and the church's tank is needed for our army, so we will not leave it. The head of the district church has fled from the attack and is hiding, while the evangelist of the district, the evangelist of the zone, the bishop of the region and the synod are not involved in the matter. In the church sanctuary, the khat mikam, smoking cigarettes, committing adultery. The fascist Boltsegna, who had already announced through the abuser of Blitzegna called a boy Jared, that eating and sexual acts should be carried out, today implemented the threat through the Oromuma herd, the supporter of Blitzy Jared. In the church, the son of Jared wished to desecrate the temple. We call on domestic and foreign human rights organizations, from the local church to the Holy Synod, to all those who say that we will be killed in this church and its congregation, to take the necessary human evidence internally and be a voice for the victims of Kfuin.
Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe and share for more videos. Thank you.